Okay, good day again, students. So we are now in our module 6 in our discussion in media information literacy, which is about intellectual property, copyright, and fair use guidelines. Okay, so what are these three terms? Okay, I think you often heard this, especially about copyright. Okay, so here you hear the news, especially about piracy. Okay, so we'll discuss the following competencies. Okay, so what I need to know: cite a practical situations when to apply knowledge in intellectual property, copyright, and fair use guidelines. But before that, let's have first our introduction. Okay, we have this what I know. Okay, choose the letter of the best answer. Write the chosen letter on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1, a legal device that gives the creator of a literary, artistic, musical, or other creative work the sole right to publish and sell that work. A. Copyright. B. Plagiarism. C. Cyberbullying. D. Computer addiction. Okay, correct. That is letter A. Copyright. Number 2, an act or instance of using or closely imitating the language and thoughts of another author without authorization. A. Copyright. B. Plagiarism. C. Cyberbullying. D. Digital divide. Okay, correct. That is letter B. Plagiarism. Number 3, bullying that takes place online or using electronic technology such as cell phones, computers, and tablets over communication tools, including social media sites, text messages, chats, and websites. A. Copyright. B. Plagiarism. C. Cyberbullying. D. Computer addiction. Okay, it's letter C. Cyberbullying. Number 4, excessive use of computers to the extent that it interferes with daily life. A. Copyright. B. Plagiarism. C. Cyberbullying. D. Computer addiction. Okay, it's correct. Letter D. Computer addiction. Number 5, an economic inequality between groups in terms of access to, use of, or use or knowledge of ICT. A. Copyright. B. Plagiarism. C. Digital divide. D. Computer addiction. Okay, correct. That's letter C. Digital divide. Okay, I hope you got all the exercise. Got 5 out of 5. Okay, we'll now discuss our lesson for the day, which is about intellectual property, copyright, and fair use guidelines. Okay, the origins of the internet go back to 1960s. It had many milestones from then until now. Internet has changed business, education, government, healthcare, and even the ways in which we interact with our loved ones. Become one of the key drivers of social evolution. The changes in social communication are one of its particular significance. Most communication barriers have been removed because of the internet. Let's have this. What's in? So what problems do you think are presented in this poster? Which ones do you already understand? Which ones you do not? What possible dangers and issues do you think happens during unguarded internet use? Okay, this is the picture from the prepic.com. Okay, you answer these questions. Okay, what is the problem in this picture? Okay, then another. So you find these words written here. Okay, this is a word search. So these terms are very important in our topic in this module. Okay, then what is it? Okay, copyright. So before we discuss about this copyright, so I will have this video presentation about copyright. Okay, are you ready? Okay, let's watch this video presentation. It's from GMA News. Okay.
Arestado naman sa Porac, Pampanga ang suspect sa pamimirata ng mga pelikula at TV series. Ayon sa mga pulis, isang international film group ang nagreklamo laban sa suspect. Nagbabalik si Mav Gonzalez.
Hindi ganito ang ending na inaasahan ni Rainier Tamayo sa mga eksena ng kanyang buhay. Dahil kasi sa pamimirata ng mga pelikula at TV show, inaresto siya ng PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group sa Porac, Pampanga kahapon. Inireklamo siya ng isang international film group dahil sa umunoy pag-leak ng mga pelikula sa website niya.
Well, IFW was investigating the piracy. A certain person that was running a number of websites who were pirating a lot of movies, US movies, big blockbuster movies online.
Natunto ng Internet Fraud Watchdog ang suspect sa pamamagitan ng kanyang website na rainiertamayo.com. Kahapon, pinuntahan nila si Tamayo kasama ang pulisya para maghain ng search warrant. Inabutan nila si Tamayo sa kanyang kwarto kung saan bukas pa ang website. Nakumpiska ang ilang computer, laptop at routers. Ayon sa pulisya,
A crime. So we'll discuss the intellectual property law, okay, of the Philippines, or intellectual property code, Philippines. Okay, what is piracy? The unauthorized production or use of a copyright book, recording, television program, patented recording, patented invention, trademark, product, etc. Okay. So what is intellectual property? It refers to the creations of the mind such as inventions, literary, artistic works, designs, symbols, names, images used in commerce. Okay, so anything that is used in commerce. Okay, and also like example like the songs, videos, so in YouTube they have copyright. Okay, so you cannot easily copy them or use them as your own because it's protected by a law. Okay, this is an example of a copyright or intellectual property. This is about industrial design of a car. Yeah, so the different parts of the car, or the whole ornament, logo, engine transmission, body design, method of manufacture, seats, and other functionality. Okay, so we'll discuss these are the different types of intellectual property under our law. Okay, copyright, patent, trademark, industrial design, and geographical origin. Okay, let's discuss what is copyright. Copyright is a legal term used to describe the rights that creators have over their literary and artistic works, such as books, music, paintings, sculpture, films, computer programs, database, advertisement, maps, and technical drawings. Okay, so in the video presentation you have seen earlier, so it violated the copyright, especially in uploading movies in the internet. Okay, that was the violation of the Arniel Tamayo in the news. Okay, yeah. So it violated this law about copyright law. So you cannot reproduce movies or books without the permission of the author of, okay, or the company that produces it. So example of symbols of copyright. So it's letter C. Okay, then okay, this one, copyright. Okay, let's proceed to number 2, patent. So patent is an exclusive right granted for invention. So provides the patent owner with the right to decide how or whether the invention can be used by others. Okay, I think you're familiar with patent. So if you are an inventor or scientist, so you can have the patent of your invention so that no one can easily use it as their own. Okay, so another example of patented inventions. So familiar with this about these shades and the bottle of Coca-Cola. Another motorcycle, a chair, electric guitar, cell phone, and this toy robot. Okay, another famous defying line of Michael Jackson. So the shoes. So this patented also. Okay, then the third intellectual property is a trademark. So a sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one enterprise from those of other enterprise. Okay, sample of these are the logo of McDonald's and Starbucks. Okay, and other logos. Okay, so you cannot easily copy these logos because they are under trademark, especially if you have a printing business, you sell mugs, t-shirt printing. Okay, so you cannot put it in your t-shirt or mug without the permission of the owner. Okay, because you might resort to trademark infringement. So example like this one. So the North Face, the South Bat. Okay, so the logos are almost the same. Okay, so if you have this in your business, you can be sued of trademark infringement. Okay, that is a Starbucks coffee. Okay, so avoid doing this because you might face legal charges. Okay, another like this. So Maltesers by Mars and Hershey's. Okay, so Mars sued Hershey's for trademark infringement over this brand. Okay, so they have a legal war about this. So take note that these are big chocolate companies. Okay, so because Mars accused Hershey of copying their design. Okay, that is the design for their chocolate. Okay, another, we have the number 4, industrial design. So constitute the ornamental aesthetic aspects of an article, may consist of 3-dimensional features such as shape or surface of an article, or 2-dimensional features such as patterns, lines, or colors. Okay, so these are examples of industrial design. Okay, another one, the helmet. Then this one, the headphones. Okay, like this, familiar with this sleepers, crocs. Okay, and we have this again, legal dispute of industrial design infringement, Samsung versus iPhone or the Apple. Okay, so Apple sued Samsung because they copy their design in their smartphones. Okay, the last intellectual property is the geographical origin. Okay, science used on goods that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities, reputation, or characteristics that are essentially attributed to that place of origin. Most commonly includes the name of the place, origin of the goods. Okay, example, this one, strawberry in Baguio. Okay, so I'm familiar with this because they are the native products of Baguio City. Then this mango, okay, in Cebu. Okay, so once you copy this, again you will face a legal charges. Okay, so we'll now again discuss, let's have this. Okay, discuss about copyright and fair use. Okay, before that, so we'll have the summary. So fair use means you can use a copyrighted material without a license only for certain purposes. Example of these are commentary, criticism, reporting, research, and teaching. Okay, so to know more about this, I will let you watch a video presentation about fair use.
Have you ever wondered how to download and share digital content legally? How do you let people know that you want them to reuse your own work? Creative Commons licenses can help you do both. We'll show you how. Our world's exploded with digital opportunities. Now we can communicate, share, and work together using the exceptional distribution network that is the Internet. Information and content can fly between us in exciting new ways. But it's important to know that when something is created, say a photo, a document, or a music track, it's automatically protected by copyright. Copyright enables people to say who can share and reuse their creations. You must always obtain someone's permission before sharing or reusing their work, even when it's posted online. But what if a creator wants everyone to use their work, without the hassle of granting permission over and over? This is where Creative Commons can help. Creative Commons provides licensing tools that are free to use. You can apply a license to your work, which refines your copyright and streamlines how you give permission. Zach here downloads a photo called CC Kiwi that he wants to use in his science project. He can do this without asking Kiri, the photographer, first, because she's already given permission with a Creative Commons license. Kiri's license is legally robust, but easy for Zach to understand. She's told the world, including Zach, that they can use CC Kiwi as long as they acknowledge her as the original photographer. There are more rules Kiri could have included. Creative Commons licenses are made up of license elements. You can think of them as rules, and each have their own special symbol. This is attribution. It means that Zach must acknowledge Kiri when he publishes his science project containing her photo. This is non-commercial. It means no one else but Kiri is permitted to make money from CC Kiwi. Tim wants to print the photo onto t-shirts and distribute them to friends. He can do this, but he must not sell them. This is no derivatives, and it means that Kiri hasn't given permission to change her photo. Kate can use CC Kiwi on her design blog, but will need to ask Kiri before retouching or mixing up the image. And this is share alike. It means new creations that use CC Kiwi need to carry the same license. Jack incorporates his own remix of CC Kiwi in his video installation, but he must share the work under the same terms that Kiri has. Each Creative Commons license gives permission to share and includes the attribution rule. So people who find your Creative Commons licensed work are automatically allowed to share it, but are required to acknowledge you if they do. The other 3 license elements are optional, and you can choose which ones to add, if any. Here are the 6 combinations that make up Creative Commons licenses. The difference between them is how many rules apply when someone wishes to use your work. The attribution license allows reusers the most freedom, and the attribution non-commercial no derivatives license allows the least freedom. The attribution license and the attribution share alike licenses are sometimes referred to as Free Cultural Works approved licenses. These 3 licenses restrict commercial use of a work. And these 2 licenses do not give permission for adapting or remixing. These 2 licenses require new works to be licensed under the same terms. To choose and apply one of these licenses, and to view their terms in more detail, visit us at creativecommons.org.nz. Or you can answer some questions to help you decide which license best suits your needs at creativecommons.org/choose. There are some good ways to find other people's Creative Commons licensed work online. You can use a search filter by going to the Creative Commons website. Or why not try the Jamendo website for music, Flickr for images, or Digital NZ for New Zealand content. Using Creative Commons licenses could help your creations reach more people. Maybe you want to connect with others across the globe and take turns at improving a report. Or maybe you just want to have fun, remixing someone else's work. Whatever reason you have to share your work, you'll find there are scientists, educators, companies, and public agencies who are using Creative Commons. By opening up permission, just imagine how much we can achieve. Collaborating on what we hold in common, being open about big decisions, and finding solutions in the spaces between us. Let's work together, confidently and legally.
Okay, that is a video presentation about Creative Commons. So you can use material, especially in the internet, free of license, if you follow the concept or guidelines in Creative Commons. Okay, so this Creative Commons is an American non-profit organization devoted to expanding the range of creative works available for others to build upon legally and to share. Our organization has released several copyright licenses known as Creative Commons licenses free of charge to the public. Okay, so you don't need to worry anymore. If you will use a material, you just look for the CC logo. Okay, so you can use it for free as long as again you follow the guidelines stated in the video presentation. Okay, so this is it. So attribution, you must credit the creator. Non-commercial, you can make a profit. Okay, so you cannot sell what you have created out of you use a copyright material. So no derivative works, you can change the content and share alike. You can change the content, but you have to let other people use your work with the same license as the original. So these are the guidelines in having this Creative Commons licenses. Okay. Okay, it's another one. So about traditional copyright, Creative Commons. These are the comparisons. Okay. So in traditional copyright, work cannot be used, adapted, copied, or published without the creator's permission. Under Creative Commons, work may be used without permission, but only under certain circumstances. Then public domain, work can be used, adapted, copied, and published completely without restriction, no permission needed. Okay. What does it apply to? Original work is protected under copyrighted when it's created. Okay. What does it apply for? Only work that creators have chosen to designate as Creative Commons. Okay, take note of that. Then in public domain, work published prior to 1923 work by long dead creators and work that creators have placed in public domain. Okay, so that is about so you learned already today about the intellectual properties, the 5 intellectual properties. So especially the copyright, patent, trademark, geographical origin. Okay, so those are the 5 intellectual property rights in our country. Okay, so we follow it, so to avoid any legal problems, so sure we follow those guidelines mandated by the law. Okay, there you have it. So you know what are the intellectual property or the 5 types of intellectual property in our law, Republic Act 8293. Okay, so now we'll proceed to plagiarism. So plagiarism is an instance of using or closely imitating the language and thoughts of another author without authorization. The representation of that author's work as one's own as by not crediting the original. Okay, so this is common, especially in our country. There are many issues, especially those people using words of others without attributing. Okay, so also in research, it's very common. So you will have your research in second sem. So I hope you avoid this plagiarism because this is very shameful act. Okay, it's like a stealing someone's idea. Okay, so to know more about plagiarism, so again I have here a video presentation Saturday Night Live. Okay, so you watch the points here on how did the students committed these plagiarism acts. Okay, okay, so I hope you seen the points where the students committed plagiarism in their work. Okay, so to know more about plagiarism, so we will have again another video presentation. So understanding plagiarism. Okay, let's watch this video.
Well, plagiarism is really academic theft. It is the knowing, or more commonly unknowing, passing off of somebody else's ideas, research, opinions as your own.
Plagiarism is where you use anyone else's work without kind of referencing it and acknowledging that you've used someone else's work and kind of try and pass it off as your own.
Using somebody else's ideas and passing them off as your own. So that might be writing a sentence that you've read from a book, or it might be cutting and pasting something from a website and not referencing either of those things.
Well, plagiarism can come in many forms. Certainly over the past decade or so, we've had a shift from the old style of typing up a book or writing out a book to just cutting and pasting off websites. Now, this is the most common form of plagiarism we'd find, certainly wholesale plagiarism, that there'll be a tendency to pull paragraphs out, kind of integrate them a little bit, move some words around, and pass that off as the work of the student. Sometimes it's just smaller instances where a couple of lines will drop in, or it'll be a quote that's not attributed, or references that are missing, paraphrasing, or the knowledge simply of having taught a module that those ideas don't belong to the student and the student has not attributed them.
I think a lot of the time students don't realise that they're plagiarising because of potentially time management and the processes of developing effective written work, and it can be just through poor scholarship.
I think that the main reason students plagiarize is because for some of us, I guess the amount of work which you get in comparison to your college work or sixth form or wherever background you come from can be slightly overwhelming. So then if you leave your assignments to last night, you just get so stressed and you just don't know what to do and you feel like you can't do it. So I guess the easiest way is to hope for the best and copy something of internet.
Well, students can avoid plagiarising in a number of ways. Firstly is to make sure that they reference properly. We are very big on trying to teach a scholarly technique that means every idea, every concept, every quotation is cited with the surname of the author, the date of publication, and for a quotation, a page number, so that it's very clear that that is the source of that idea. And students can block off any perceived or potential plagiarism by very clearly citing.
One important way that students can avoid plagiarising is through good time management. Having a good essay plan. Ultimately, the best piece of advice I can give is that if you're in any doubt about whether you should reference or not, it probably means you should reference.
Our library website, for example, which I was using a lot in the first year, has a whole section about referencing, and it says how to reference articles, how to reference books, how to reference websites, and it guide you steps by step.
But as a final check, it's a really good idea to put their essay through, turn it in, and that'll pick up any of the places where they've accidentally forgotten to reference the words.
Now, so we'll discuss again plagiarism. So plagiarism is the act of using a person's words or ideas without giving credit to that person. That is by Merriam-Webster. Then the practice of taking someone else's work, ideas, and passing them off as one's own. Okay, so we have different types of plagiarism. So sources not cited and sources cited. So number one, the ghostwriter. The writer turns in others' work word for word as his or her own. Okay, I think this is commonly committed by students because they are lazy enough to do their work, so they just make their this copy from the internet. Okay, making them as a culprit of plagiarism. Then next is a photocopy. The writer copies significant portions of the text straight from a single source without alteration. So I think majority of you have conducted research, especially in your junior high school. So oftentimes you copy the important portions of article, so without citing. So that is a plagiarism. Then padlock paper. The writer copies from different sources, tweaking them to make them fit together while retaining most of the original phrase. Okay, so this is what other students do. They use several sources, mixing them together as they would look that it is original, or they're the one who make that article. Okay, so again, that is plagiarism. So you must acknowledge the source if it's not yours. Next, for this guys, the writer has altered the paper's appearance slightly by changing keywords and phrases. Okay, so like changing the words, synonyms, okay, etc. So again, that is still plagiarism. Then the labor of laziness. The writer takes time to paraphrase most of the paper from other sources and make it all fit together. Okay. Then the self-stealer. The writer borrows generously from his or her previous work. Okay, so this is committed if you're already a author of a book. So if you want to copy your own work, so again you must acknowledge again the source, okay, or put the reference to it. Then this is another type of plagiarism, sources cited. So forgotten footnote. The writer mentions author's name a source but neglects to include specific information and allocation of the material reference. Okay, so make sure you put the footnote or the correct referencing tool in the articles you have copied, especially in your research. Then number 2, misinformer. The writer provides inaccurate information regarding the sources, making it impossible to find them. Okay, so when you use references or using especially important words from another author, so make sure you provide the sources. Then number 3, to perfect paraphrase. The writer recites sources but neglects to put in quotation marks or in text that has been copied word per word. Okay, so it is a direct quote, so make sure you put quotation marks. Okay, number 4, sourceful citer. The writer properly cites all sources, paraphrasing and using quotations appropriately to catch so there's no original work. Okay, so make sure doing your research you have your own words put to it. Okay, so do not simply rephrase everything, okay, or copy. Number 5, the perfect crime. Okay, so the writer properly quotes and cite sources in some place but goes on to paraphrase other arguments from those sources without citation. So make sure again you really have your source cited to avoid plagiarism. Let's go back to our module. So we already discussed this copyright and plagiarism. So let's go to phishing. So it's a cybercrime in which targets are contacted by email, or telephone or text message by someone posing a legitimate institution to lure individuals into providing sensitive data such as personal identifiable information, banking and credit card details, and passwords. Information is then used to access important accounts and can result in identity theft and financial loss. So I think this is common nowadays. So I hope you're very careful, especially in using social media and your email accounts. So do not give your passwords and other personal information. Okay. So fair use. So we already discussed this. So just read this again if you like. Then the Local Property Code or Public Act 8293. So we'll discuss this in our slides. Then you do this activity. Activity 1. So just read this activity. Then okay, what have you learned? So you already know this. Okay. So you just read this. Then we have this. What can I do? Another activity. This is case analysis. Okay, so you answer this activity. Then we have the assessment. Okay, so you answer this. Then additional activities, you make this artwork. Okay, so about the proper etiquette. Okay, so use any coloring materials you have in your home. Okay, so create a proper etiquette poster using materials found at home. You are encouraged to use recycled materials. However, if you have a smartphone or computer, you may make your layout in a mobile app or computer program. If you have Photoshop, so you can use it. If you don't have, so you can do it manually. Okay, you just draw it. Okay, so make sure, so list down and illustrate what you think are proper etiquette practices to avoid copyright issues. Okay, I think that's all for today. So if you have again questions, so you can just PM me to my Facebook account or email me in my Gmail account. Okay, so good day and have a nice day.